Welcome. It's time for Blocktalk. We're on Bitcoin block 415743. That means we're only like 4,300 blocks until the halving. So, yeah, start ordering those half cakes and whatever else. Maybe cut some watermelon in half and serve it up. Sounds like it's going to be a fun party. We have some awesome sponsors to start the show here. First off, we have Coinigy, who actually just kind of released an app recently. Where you can do all of your trading, link all your exchanges to the platform and your account, and then do it mobilely on the Android App Store. So yeah, you got some really cool screens here that are it's a pretty sexy platform, if I do say so myself. And yeah, it really enables you to do everything you want. And not all sites are kind of mobile ready, so this really kind of puts it all into one place and makes it super easy and convenient. So yeah, definitely check out Coinigy.com/Blocktalk and support the show. Our other sponsor is Starcoin. Star is a currency that's based in Spain, has been deploying locally to try and, bring Bitcoin to the masses and with crypto debit cards. And they've actually done so. They've sponsored the Enduro bike race in Portugal, so that'll be pretty exciting to see. Starcoin tents everywhere and whatnot. On a completely unrelated note, if everyone knows where Luke Williams is, please let us know, because we're getting ready to put out some milk cartons with his photo on. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. I'm monitoring it closely. And without further ado, I guess we'll get on to the main event here. We have Cabbage.Tech in the house. So yeah, we have Stitsky. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming out. Yeah, it's not too often that we get some farming related projects in the space, and I'm really excited as a farmer myself. My first part-time job was actually picking blueberries and cabbage for the guy down the road and getting some envelopes and cash. Yeah, it was kind of funny to hear that there was a cabbage coin out there. So I guess tell us about the project. Could you give us a quick intro and your involvement in it?
Well, I'll start with my involvement. My involvement is I'm an investor. I've had about 27 years experience of trading on Wall Street, all types of investments from foreign exchange to stocks, bonds, mostly penny stocks, blue chip stocks, bulletin board stocks, things of that nature. So my knowledge is broad in terms of market making and investment banking, which is actually a totally identical area to what we're seeing in cryptocurrency. That's actually how I found it. What a lot of people don't realize is the NASDAQ in the late 80s and 90s was identical in terms of people's lack of belief in investing in anything other than a blue chip stock, white shoe firms. What happened then was you had a lot of smaller cap firms and a lot of companies like Amazon, the Microsofts that they couldn't get capital, in the regular markets from banks, from firms like Morgan Stanley, things like that. So they went to small cap brokerage firms and they entered that market. And whatever they did to actually raise that capital, it put these companies in the spotlight, where companies like Intel, Microsoft refused to go from the NASDAQ to the New York Stock Exchange for the fact that they wanted to remain, a big fish in a small pond. However, if you look at the actual trading factors, the systems that are set up, back from BTC to CRIPSI, they're identical to how NASDAQ stocks are traded on a level 2 basis. A lot of traders in cryptocurrency don't even know what a level 2 is. A lot of traders in common stock don't even know what a level 2 computer is, because it's a privileged trading system that only till recent years E-Trade and online platforms actually allowed you the opportunity to subscribe to a level 2 service to actually enhance your profits. What it does is this: if you look at a NASDAQ stock, you'll see a bid and an ask when you look at a typical quotation. But what you don't see is that maybe just like cabbage, for instance, there might be someone bidding 400 Satoshis, but the next bid underneath is, 30 Satoshis. So the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, in terms of transparency, they lack a lot of things in terms, you can go and even to buy, let's say, Amazon, you buy it, let's say at 400, per share. Okay, there's no guarantee that the next bid below isn't $2 a share. You can't see that unless you possess a level 2 computer. So that was one of the things that actually intrigued me just to investing into blockchain technology, fintech, anything of that nature, because I thought the transparency would outlast the applications. Like, Bitcoin's just an application. Ethereum is just an application. That's what people failed to realize. They thought that Bitcoin was going to take over the world, knock out the USD, things of that nature. But that's not the case. Bitcoin is basically going to be the Google or the Microsoft of the blockchain, and then you'll have Ethereum. That'll come up. And these are applications. These are they're coins and things of that nature. But that's what intrigued me to invest into blockchain. So I have a client base, that I trade steady. With stocks and things of that nature for, like I said, in excess of 26 years. And I'm pretty much for the last 3 or 4 years been bringing clients from common stock over to Bitcoin and introducing them on that level. And one of the hardest parts actually to get people involved in it wasn't selling the premise of Bitcoin or that, blockchain or things of that nature will be the future. The fact was that people really didn't want to take the time to set up, learn wallets, 7 days to get their money through Coinbase. And then you had CoinSource set up the actual ATM on the Staten Island Ferry on the Whitehall side. That allowed us the ability to walk 2 or 3 blocks from an office to, have lunch with somebody, take $500 out of the pocket and have them buy Bitcoin for cash. And I think the railways is one of the most important factors. So that was what got me into Bitcoin and what intrigued me. Agriculture in general, if you look at the market overall, it's significant. Just in the U.S. alone, this because you're involved in it yourself. It's a $60 billion market. Do that globally, and outside of the U.S., agriculture is what people live off of. So,
and that's just what's reported too. Like
yeah.
Before, I got paid in cash. So like, there's a lot of
farming is a cash business.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, when I used to open up accounts on the telephone, the first, you ask them their annual income, their net worth, and their market portfolio. Every farmer would say he had between $25,000 to $30,000 annual income, but he'd be able to send you $250,000 in investments. So the math didn't add up. So it kind of shows you that. But speaking to James, he came to me. I'm very close friends with his parents, and what we did is, he ran this idea by us, and we tried to give him the support that he needed in terms of capital, things of that nature. We're just waiting for him and his team, in terms of the development side, coding and things of that nature to build it on that aspect. But what we're doing is, we're making sure that if he does hit the, the actual level that he's looking to hit in terms of, growing an economic platform for agricultural payments, I think that, we'd be able to, spearhead him in terms of raising as much capital as he would need to make the project successful. So that's really where I am. I'm looking to make money off of Cabbage by investing in it. That's what I do.
Okay, so you're not actually one of the developers or one of the guys that's even in charge of marketing or anything. You're purely just, I guess, footing the books.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Like, I have documents here right now. Like, we're incorporated 3 different times as corporations, in New York State. We're looking into regulation. We're looking into actually doing MSB, things of that nature, and also opening up our own exchange. We're finding one thing that, from my perspective, as a, I guess you would call me a so-called Wall Street guy, but I'm anti-Wall Street because I don't like the establishments in general. There's 2 sides of Wall Street. You have white shoe, and then you have entrepreneurs, and they often clash, and it's usually a class issue. But in terms of what I'm looking to do is basically develop the company equity-wise, build a market-making facility where we have traders trading it. Like, if you go to the NASDAQ and you look at Microsoft, or you look at a high cap NASDAQ stock, you'll see they have their own trading rooms within the NASDAQ. So if we could duplicate that, just like the Bitcoin Center, which I think is probably one of the best ideas in Bitcoin history, because they park their business right across the street from the New York Stock Exchange. Like, excuse my language, but I don't give a shit if the Bitcoin Center makes a dime. Every single stockbroker, investor, or trader that visits the New York Stock Exchange can see Bitcoin because of what those guys do. So I think that's a very important factor. I think, you know, eventually things like, you know, you per se, I don't know if you have children, but your kids might say, you know, 5 or 10 years from now, you know, hey, Dad, I want to go to the movies, and you got to give them digital currency, a digital currency card, something of that nature. You're not going to be giving them USD.
Yeah.
But our main focus is agriculture, because, no, you know, we looked at the market, and there's one provider, Cabbage with a K, just like us. They lack one thing. They lack peer-to-peer, and they stress that in their marketing. So we felt that that was a niche. We don't understand why they wouldn't take advantage of it. It's probably a lack of knowledge in terms of how to devise a peer-to-peer strategy. I don't know, but the fact is, it was an open door. And, you know, looking at the market, you have to have a sector, or you have to be developing a new platform like Ethereum. You have to be innovative somewhat, but if you're not going to have the innovation to build a new platform or a network, you better damn you know, well, find a coin that, you know, makes sense, or a unit that makes sense that you can apply to a specific niche or industry. So that's what makes sense to me, you know.
All right. Well, we have a couple quick questions here, actually. As when did you get into Bitcoin, and I guess what is your background? You kind of mentioned NASDAQ and Wall Street trading, but could you maybe go a little more into detail on how Bitcoin kind of came into your life?
I got into Bitcoin because I run a subscription-based service, and hypothetically, I contact you and I say, hey, I have a stock service program. You know, we basically send you buy, sell, hold alerts, and you pay us 24 months. Let's say, you know, a $500 fee for a 24-month period. Throughout that period of time, you have people that, you know, maybe one stock trade goes bad. Maybe they have buyer's remorse. So when someone does subscribe for $500 for a 24-month period, the merchant service takes that risk of the chargeback. So a lot of times they'll put reserve accounts. You know, they might even just shut your merchant account down because they don't want to take the risk. I've had merchant accounts tell me, you know, they 30-day subscriptions, no more than that. So we ran into a problem where we were getting chargebacks and things of that nature, and we were looking for a better resource in terms of, you know, processing payments without having to have the risk of, you know, people charging back after taking 12 months of our service. So we ran into Bitcoin, and you know, I was researching it personally, you know, and I didn't understand it, to be honest with you, like everybody else, but I was intrigued, and I bought some around 180, 183. I actually bought 300 of them, and boom, 2 months later, maybe a month and a half later, was when it went to 1,000 and change. And from that point on, I realized that I'll probably be investing in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, probably for the rest of my life. But then I lost a lot of money trading them because the market cap, even coinmarketcap.com, for instance, it's manipulated. You can launch a coin, hypothetically, a million, just say a million coins. One trade is done at 100,000 Satoshis, and that's the market cap. So I kind of fell for some of the tricks, you know, seeing a 15 or a $20 million market cap, got my head cracked, you know, and then realized that, you know, you have to really be careful. The market cap list is fake, in my opinion. It's just a way of manipulating numbers with technology. So I'm very cautious of that. I buy usually, like, you know, within the top 10. I'll even buy Dogecoin before I buy a you know, a currency that I don't know, you know, in general. But I have a lot of faith in a lot of them.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's interesting history, I guess. Let's dive right into your Ann here. Start kind of going through, I guess, from the beginning. So right away, you have like this donate BTC button, and when I look at it, you mentioned those tricks of kind of selling at, you know, 100 Satoshi and falsifying the market cap. I don't really see anyone donating 22.5 Bitcoins to you. Like, that's over $10,000 in donations. Like, geez, I've only gotten like 10 cents in donations for doing this show. So can you explain who might be giving you guys this much money?
That's us. That's us, you know, putting money in, you know, that's our wallet. That's our development wallet. So if you donated, you know, 1 Satoshi, or if we put in 3 Bitcoins to pay for an Android app, that's our bank. That's being transparent in terms of showing our Bitcoin wallet that we use for the Cabbage unit development. So that's basically putting our bank account online for you guys.
Okay. All right. So I see what you're saying. You guys are self-funding, and this is kind of how you're showing it through this development address.
Yeah, we'd appreciate. Yeah, the address isn't a, you know, 100% donation address. That's just where Any monies that come into this particular development will come through that address right there.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Awesome. All right. So I just heard you say instead of cabbage, you said cabbage. So I guess that makes what this A here is. Is there a reason why you call it cabbage?
That's really Jimmy. Jimmy, his son named it. They were coming up with just different terminologies for money, and his son came with the word cabbage for, it means money, in slang. But he came to him and he basically, I don't know, Jimmy put the hyphen up there, and Jimmy's Chinese, so when he says it, he says cabbage. So it's kind of a joke, you know what I mean? But it's Cabbage.Tech, but we call it cabbage.
Okay. No, so I can see why you guys didn't go for broccoli or cauliflower coin.
Yeah, the fact that it was agriculture and the fact that cabbage meant money made a lot of sense on both fronts.
Well, this is an interesting little photo here. You got your cabbage logo photoshopped on top there. I gotta say, this is definitely just a manufactured thing here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The guy's not even harvesting. The tractor's driving the wrong way. He's driving on the straw.
That looks like a straight copy and paste of the cabbage logo onto his hat.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's go on to the first line here. So Cabbage Unit is a peer-to-peer digital currency that enables instant and low-cost payments globally, specifically designed for agricultural consumers and merchants. So right away, like my first pass on almost every coin I look at, can I just copy and paste Bitcoin into here and does it fit? Like, what do you guys think that Bitcoin is in?
We're selling it to that specific industry. Not saying that Bitcoin, I mean, Startcoin could be used for agriculture. Shitcoin could be used for agriculture. Any coin could, but our goal, if you look on our actual end, you'll see we incorporated a company, one of the partners that really isn't affiliated with the coin. It's going to be somewhat the first data of Agri-Tech. So we're focused more on providing specific services to Agri-Tech outside of just the actual payments. Eventually, we'll try to provide all the services. We're building a company, with the technology. You can build coins and cryptocurrencies all day long, but if you're not marketing it, Bitcoin was marketed to everything. We're focusing specifically on agriculture. And if we do that over a 5, 10, 15 year, period of time, like anything, you'll become a brand. And, to build a brand takes time. What a lot of people don't realize is they're online. This particular unit was only launched in March, and it's holding some value. I mean, it's worth nothing, but it's holding some value. How many coins out there have been on the market for 3, 4 years and can't get above or even maintain 10 Satoshis? So if investors or trolls or whatever you want to call them cannot recognize the fact that not only do we consistently update our development, do we consistently show support with our market, and that isn't even us. I mean, you can see if you go on right now, my hands are in the air, I'm not typing. You can ask any one of our users or anybody that owns Cab that truly knows us and speaks to Jimmy or me, which is rare, but speaks to Jimmy. They know that Jimmy isn't the one, sitting there buying and selling. We've actually built a pretty decent market in terms of traders in Cab, and that's something that a lot of people can't say. People just did not come into Cab, buy it, drop it to zero. No, we have real investors. We have people that contact us every single day, probably a lot of friends of yours, a lot of followers of yours that support us. Hey, I bought more Cab today. Hey, can I do a logo for you? Hey, can I do this? We're building a community. We're taking the grassroots steps necessary, just like Bitcoin. But the fact is this, we can't satisfy people in 90 days. Typically, when a company goes public on the NASDAQ, there's something called a 90-day quiet period where the company doesn't say shit to the public. So imagine that. So we ask for patience, and we cannot get patience because you have people on all different platforms, whether it's Bitcoin Talk, Crypto Coin Talk, YoBit Troll. They're sitting there and they're trying to make Satoshis and they're manipulating our coin. But that's cool, because I'll tell you something, as long as there's activity, buying and selling in our coin, that's what a cryptocurrency is about. It's supposed to be distributed. It's supposed to trade hands. We have distributed this cryptocurrency to the fullest. Jimmy, just so people know, they call him a little kid. He's 40-something years old. He has kids in their 20s, and he, because he's such a nice guy, gave his full stake in Cab away to people online, whether it was our forums, whether it was helping for development. I'll sit and I'll point out 15 developers in the industry that you guys all know that have contributed to Cab. That's what people don't realize. This isn't Jimmy just sitting behind the computer. This is Jimmy with financing behind him, which is me. And Jimmy has built a hell of a team, okay, online with your group of individuals. Now, if people can stop judging and prejudging things and allow time, okay, to prove something, with all due respect, our market cap is $25,000, $30,000. Nobody has their house at stake on Cab, okay? But if you want to speculate and take $100, $200 and put it away like a true cryptocurrency, trader, that makes sense. But to think that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and that Cab is going to be truly valued, okay, at $10 is ridiculous. And that's the problem with cryptocurrency, and that's why I'm not online, because they think like microwaves. Mm-hmm. Okay, they cannot wait 2 days.
Okay, so we're getting just a tad off on rant here, but I just want to kind of go back. So you mentioned the market cap is like 30 grand, and majority of the people you have invested or have interest or are looking at your coin to actually use it, they're all traders. So like I know of other coins that they actually wanted to avoid trading, like they wanted to avoid markets as long as possible because they actually wanted to build an ecosystem before it was traded publicly. So to say that that's what you need to have first seems kind of like a fallacy. Like
well, on my part is, I'm not saying when, like, Jimmy hates it. If you look and you read the actual forums, you'll see Jimmy, he hates Yobit. He wants us to list it from Yobit, to be honest with you. But me, my nature, I'm a trader. I trade Forex for pips. I do this, I trade stocks for spread. So I'm talking from my nature, because when you look at Bitcoin, one of the things that I didn't recognize when I first entered Bitcoin was I thought Bitcoin was just Bitcoin. I didn't realize Bitcoin was your bank. I didn't realize Bitcoin was a trading vehicle. I didn't realize Bitcoin was a currency. I didn't realize Bitcoin could be used for this, for that. I thought it was just like a stock. I thought it had, one job. But Cab also has the job of being a trader's market. And I've been telling Jimmy just in general that, yes, you could be pissed off at these guys, but you should be happy that someone this early into your venture is showing you attention. It hasn't hurt Cab, in my opinion, that people have traded it up to, 500 or 600. I don't believe it's truly worth that today, to be honest with you. But I believe in time, the value will kick in. So yep. It's cool. But I would like to say this. One of the problems that we have is Jimmy, even in particular, he understands it a little bit because he's been in business outside of crypto. But when we do capital raise, we did our initial capital raise for 350 grand. We're not just going to, we didn't raise that equity to pump a coin. So we raised that equity to build Cabbage.Tech, to build divisions, to build a company that will promote the currency. So for instance, First Data, when they decided to go into business and, become a provider of, services, Visa, Master, whatever, they set up a corporation. They went out and they set up the contracts with Visa, Master, this and that. The only difference is we set up the corporation for Cabbage.Tech, and we went out, okay, and we had our own Visa and MasterCard created via Cabbage units. So that's what people don't understand. They're too prone and too trained.
Well, I think people want to see people using your currency, though. So do you have investors? Do you have a farmer who's already on board, or like a farming?
We sent that email since we actually been building up an email list since November 2015. And if you look, we've talked about that. But the fact of the matter is this: we're not ready to present it to a farmer, for instance. We are going to be. If you look at our roadmap, we have the Android app coming out. It's not mobile friendly yet. Like you can download the wallets, Mac, Windows, things like that, but you can't walk out and hit them hand to hand with a mobile yet. So we're good. If you look at our roadmap, we're scheduled to launch the Android app this month. We didn't even know, I'll keep it real with you, we didn't believe it would get this far, you know, and have this much support. We thought we'd be doing it ourselves, but we've gotten a decent amount of support, and we're very helpful, you know, thankful for that, and, you know, things of that nature. But we can only move at the pace that we set. We're not going to move at the pace of your pace. We're not going to move at the pace of Farmer Joe out in Arkansas, and we're not going to move at the pace of Pumper Bill on Yobit. We're going to move at our pace, and if people don't like it, sell our coin, sell it down to 1 Satoshi if you want to. I'll buy every fucking coin from you at 5 Satoshis, because you know what? On the odds alone, I'm selling them at 50 to 100. So sell the shit out of our coin. If you're a person that trades, trade it. If you're a person that invests in it, invest in it. But people that are, whatever they're doing with it, understand what you're doing. All right, when you jump in to buy 130 cab units for 3 cents, okay, and how do you expect to win short term? It's impossible.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to say that people make their own decisions. Therefore, when they make those decisions, it's not Cab's fault, okay, if they lost money. It's their trading decisions. So I just want people to understand that the price of the coin right now doesn't dictate anything, and it's not relevant to anything that we're doing outside of those exchanges, to be honest with you. And I'm tired of hearing about the coin. Fuck the coin, man. Let's build the business.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you guys want to get on Trex really bad. So it sounds like you're really
that's because they're regulated.
You don't care about farmers. So like
that's because they're regulated. We want to be on a regulated exchange. That's
okay,
all. We just want to know that, like, for instance, 2 or 3 days ago, Yobit, everybody said it was the next Docs. Google it. Google it. There's hundreds of posts where nobody could get in and everybody was complaining. Let me ask you this, okay? And I'll take a step back and I will stop ranting. But do you think that we can walk up, okay? We're not talking cryptocurrency investors. We're talking mom and pop investors. Forget Cabbage.Tech, forget the farmers, forget the participants. Let's talk about the capital raising, getting the equity together to build the market, to have the money to do it. Because you know what? Ethereum was a great project. I don't know where the kid got the money, but how many people really blew up like that? How many people really took the steps and had all those people jump? That takes money. So somewhere along the lines.
It also takes developers, though. And right now, all
exactly.
I have investors from you guys. It sounds like all you have is money, but I don't hear anyone actually doing the programming.
We have. Do you read our ad?
Oh, I've looked over it, but I'm curious because right now,
just listen. Listen. Don't let that beer get to your head, pal. All right. I came here in peace. Okay.
No, but this is what my question is. It's just like, where's the innovation?
Okay, innovation is one thing, but how many innovators? How many coins are there in the coin market cap right now? How many coins?
500.
700. All right, and how many of them are innovators? You know what?
None. Well, and I'm asking, like, you guys want to.
A lot of them are. A lot of them are. They just didn't have the resources and the backing to do it. I've seen a lot of good coins fail. Okay, only because they really didn't have. They had great developers, honest guys. They just didn't have the resources to develop it. And if you can tell me different, you're wrong. There's a lot of coins out there that are really, really good. One of the marijuana coins should have already blew up. They just didn't have the right money behind. Think about that. Those are agricultural coins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like that's where I really see crypto kind of breaking in first. But like,
you need businessmen. You need businessmen, not developers. Yet you do need developers. But you need developers that hire businessmen to build blockchains for their ideas, to build them in business. You need to link both of those avenues, and that's been one of the problems with it in general. We have
who made your chain though? Did you guys kind of contract it out?
We contracted it out, and we're going to contract everything that we need out. And to be honest, we contracted it to Hazard. We don't lie about that. You know, for instance, if you opened up a company and you needed phone lines, what would you do? You would call your phone company. If you opened up a business and you needed cable, what would you do? You would call your cable company.
Yep. No, I understand.
That's okay. You know, we're not saying we're big shots. We're not saying we have more money than anybody in the world, but we're saying we have resources, and we also know how to gather the things that we need to develop something. I would prefer to have a developer and a group of people that are like-minded, yet everybody brings an individual skill. You know, not 15 developers arguing whether we should do Bitcoin Core or this. That was one of the most embarrassing things in the world to see our father, Bitcoin divided like that. And that was stupid. They should have, if they were true businessmen, they would have sat down at a table and they would have reconciled that behind closed doors, not put that burden on Bitcoin and people in general. I thought that was ridiculous. And that's one of the problems of cryptocurrency. It might be a little too transparent when it comes to developers' moves.
Well, one thing that I always look at too at why I almost prefer sometimes to talk to a developer is well, I guess you're the investor side, so maybe you might have a better idea of like how the market structure or the coin is structured in terms of the economy of it. So let's look at your unit specs here, and this is kind of laid out different than anyone I've ever seen. So it's pure proof of stake. So that means you guys didn't have a proof of work cycle. You just had a Genesis block with all of these coins. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that like I find really tricky about it, you call yourself a currency, but people in the industry view proof of stake more as like a stock or a token. Like if you called yourself a token, I would be more inclined to think this is a better thing to do. But if you were proof of work, then you would be a currency. Like now you're just a stock, and you want people to look at it
this way. We have a company. It's called Cabbage.Tech Corp. Therefore, we probably have a stock eventually. It's not this, but we probably would have a blockchain based stock, just like we see Overstock talking. We probably would try to do something of that nature. Yes. Makes sense. Is there something wrong with that? Just because we don't fit the criteria of typical cryptocurrency doesn't mean that we can't work. Okay, whether it's called a unit, whether it's called a share, whether it's called a token, whether it's called a coin, that's a preference. Okay. Fact of the matter, in New York City, we use tokens for trains. All right, we don't. That's a token in New York City. Okay, so we all have preferences. Like if you come from buttfuck Arkansas and you milk cows, that's what you like to do. All right, that's what you do. Okay, you have your things out there. Me, a city slicking asshole, which you're thinking right now, and I can see it in your eyes. All right, same thing. We have our own preferences. So if people can people are like, why do you name it Cabbage? For 2 weeks, this poor guy Jimmy was online explaining why they named it Cabbage. Man.
No, but
nobody ever heard the term cabbage.
The issue is you guys have 100% pre-mine, and then you're basically doling it out to whoever wants to buy it. So at that point, the price doesn't mean anything. It's whatever you guys value it as because you own like 100% of it.
No, that's incorrect.
So where is this 100% pre-mine being stored, and how has it been distributed to everyone?
If you look at our and you'll see that Jimmy posted a live video actually of we're doing a proof of burn, which is going to be for 5,499,000, about 5.5 million coins, but just one decimal below. However, he proved a proof of POB, okay, already on Facebook. Live video, time-stamped with the wallet, everything live. So when you look at that, okay, and you research that, ask me that question again.
No, but like what I'm saying is, who cares how much he's burning if you have 100%? I could create Stirk coin. It's got 100 million, and I'm going to burn 90 million of it. Nobody gives a shit because
this is the problem with crypto. Is, for instance, if you went public with again Microsoft, Bill Gates owned 100% of those shares when he went public.
So
and the people that invested with him.
Like this
we're not a share. We're not a share.
Currency. You guys want to make a currency that farmers will use to interact and
it's
buy
a unit. You're a farmer, right?
Proof of work.
You're a farmer, right?
Yeah, I'm a farmer.
All right. So then as a farmer, the majority of your work is units, right?
Well, and there's a proof of my work. I generate.
No, listen, we'll get into that, but listen. You understand what I'm saying to you? When, for instance, unit is a very big word used in agriculture, correct? Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Unit. All right. That is what that means. No more, bro. Nothing to do with shares, this, that. It's just unit. That's all. You're taking it someplace totally different, bro.
But I'm saying if you want, you want value stored in your token or a unit or whatever it is, you need to have a proof of work, like proof of energy burned. And that's why when people create currencies versus tokens,
there is proof of work on this point. Look at the script. It's POW and POS. I agreed with you on the POS, but if you look at our actual GitHub, it is POW and POS. You can't do a straight POS from my knowledge.
Well, then why does your AND say pure POS?
Because that's what it was told to us. It was pure POS.
Oh, so this is why, like, you know,
contract. But the code says POW, but the actual GitHub does say POW POS on the GitHub. It's Nova. It's off the Nova script.
Okay, so but were all the coins created in the Genesis block, or was there actually some mining and then some initial?
No, they were created. They were created all in one block, one shot, one Genesis.
Then it's not proof of work. There was no work involved in it. It was all.
The script says it. I'm just, you know, like I told you, I'm not a coder. I'm just telling you what I read the actual GitHub, and I don't understand it like that.
Okay. So yeah, I may be a farmer, but I'm also really in this technology. I understand. You know,
you're smarter than me when it comes to that, and I'll admit that.
Okay.
I told you.
So you mentioned before we started the show that there were other guys in your group or your dev team that are in the room there with you or in the house. Are we able to speak with them as well, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, then we'll kind of work through the AND here because we have a couple more things to kind of discuss. But yeah, the supply issue is.
Yeah, but we've been upfront about that supply. We told everybody it was 100% pre-mine from the gate. We didn't try to hide that. That's the fun, you know, like a lot of developers do.
Nobody's in control of it. It's you and Jimmy, or it's just Jimmy.
Jimmy actually controls the POB, the proof of burn. The actual coins are going to be burned. So he controls that, and the reason why is because Jimmy's a real honest guy. To keep it forward with you. Me, I have my stake that I buy and my stake that I invest in it. I buy coins every single day on this coin myself.
But like, okay, so
with my own money,
pre-mine, but okay, so there's no escrow. We have no like. What if Jimmy decides, you know what, I'm kind of done with Cabbage. I'm going to, you know, dump it all on the market, whatever support we have.
It's not bad. That's the thing. That's the mentality of you fucking guys. All right, when you fucking idiots, okay, recognize that. No, listen. Okay, that's the problem. We've invested a lot more into this thing than you see online. All right, so when you guys, okay, and I'm talking to crypto, all of you, okay, when you guys can get out of the petty mentality, okay, of selling things for pennies, okay, then you'll recognize wealth, okay? But until then, you guys, listen, categorize us the any fucking way you want, buddy, okay? But here's the fucking deal, okay? Every one of you fucking little penny pinching little fucking weasel traders, okay, on Yobit, okay, sell your fucking coin, all right? Because we're not in it for this penny pinching shit. All right, what's Jimmy gonna do? If we sold every fucking coin in this development right now, how much money would we get? Look at our goddamn wallet that you were fucking pointing out before, buddy. All right, it got 22 BTC. We wouldn't fucking get 22 BTC selling off the full stake. All right, so when you're ready to come correct, okay, you and I will have a fucking good conversation. But you're a fucking ignorant crypto fucking fool like the rest of these.
But my question is, why can't you prove in a way that you have
Blocktalk? We've proved everything. Do your fucking research, asshole. I'll post a message you sent me, okay, at 9 o'clock when you were late, that you need to research our developments because you didn't do your fucking research till about 15 minutes before this. So how about this?
You a question
do your research. Do your research, and then you contact Cabbage. You're a fucking loser. We don't need you. Goodbye, asshole.
All right, cool. So I was just asking, you know, what's the safety for the pre-mine not being dumped, and then he flipped out and left. So glad we got Cabbage out of the way here, and yeah, this is a great talk, and I hope you guys are all excited because next week I have a really good day going. So yeah, let's see if Cabbage gets listed on Trex now, because we got guys who don't want to show their face. We in an industry that's growing up, and you know, we want, you know, real traders, and we want people who actually are willing to stand behind their project, which is absurd to actually ask that. Anyways, so yeah, this went really well. I'm happy, guys. And next week we got a big 2 days planned. So Wednesday is I'm going to Eris and Guelph. It's kind of like a decentralized space, and we're going to be doing a live tour of their spot, and we'll have a kind of a live stream with Tendermint and GNU Clear, which is I think, a permissioned blockchain. They have several real investors behind them, and yeah, I look forward to kind of talking with them and hearing more about how they're actually going to get further into the space. We got some real developers doing some crazy innovation. They're actually helping out Vlad with his kind of proof of stake work. So that's Wednesday, and then the following day on Thursday, sorry, skipped my brain a bit, but let's see. I'm going to be going to Decentral in Toronto, and hopefully having an interview with Anthony D'Orio, all but confirmed. And yeah, I'll kind of talk with him a little bit about the DAO and him being a co-founder of Ethereum. Super excited about that. And let's see. And after that, I got Max Kaiser. I got free tickets for him. So if anyone is in Toronto or in Ontario somewhere and wants to come along, I got some extra tickets. Send me a message. My Twitter handle's right there. Bam. And yeah, I look forward to it. Maybe I'll see if I can do a Periscope while the show's going on. He's interviewing BitGold. So yeah, it'll be really good. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. This was a great show, and super excited for more.